Good day to all. Let us talk about death and dying. Being a medical student, someone who aspires to save people's lives, help them, death seems like an enemy to our profession. But death is inevitable. We cannot tell if someone will encounter death and when. Being medical practitioners, all we can do is to help reduce the suffering if someone is on a deathbed or is in a dying process. If someone has to achieve death, they have to undergo a process called as dying. Estimates say every second witnesses 2 deaths. Cause of death can be anything from murder, accident, or suicide, or any disease for that matter. Someone who has an enemy gets murdered, an unlucky person gets into accident, and someone who has lost hope in themselves go for suicide. Is it easy to kill someone? If you ask me, I will say it is the most difficult task for someone to achieve or accomplish. It requires a lot of courage to stop breathing or even to hold your breath beyond your capacity, knowing that you will not be able to respond to this unstoppable world. I have seen a case. There was a family who lost their older son to suicide. Everything was going well. Their son was pretty hardworking and very kind. The family cherished this kid a lot. So he was working in a very famous company. He was an engineer. Family was perfect, sweet family. They were even thinking of his marriage. But no one knew something like this would happen because there was no evidence found, neither any letter was found. They just found his body hanging from the ceiling fan one morning. Family used all their resources to find what was wrong, but they found nothing. Was his death justifiable? No, I don't think it was justifiable because it was an injustice to his family. They did nothing wrong. They didn't even knew something like this would happen. There are many more cases like this where deaths are a mystery. They just remain a mystery until forever. But I believe there is definitely a reason behind every death. It's just that until the time truth is revealed, it is already late. And as we know, justice delayed is justice denied. And so it is unjustifiable, be it for the family or for the dead. Let's say someone who does not have the courage to end their lives. They take help from others in doing so. So this movie over here, it shows that Ganpat and Rambhav, they are best friends. So Ganpat assists his friend Rambhav in dying. Rambhav is an alone soul and he has lost all his hope in living. He is also a drunkard, but still he doesn't die. Instead, he ends up in a hospital. Ganpat requests him to kill him because he doesn't have the courage to do so. He also requests him to keep it as a secret. He doesn't want the world to know that he was a coward. And as he makes this request, Ganpat realizes the pain and suffering Rambhav has undergone through his journey in life until now. And so Ganpat helps him in dying. But can you imagine a terrible agony Ganpat must have been in? After I saw this movie, I realized that assisted suicide can be a suicide and a murder as well. Because Ganpat did assist Rambhav in suicide, but he murdered himself. Because after that day, he couldn't even tell anyone about this incident. As Rambhav had requested him to keep it a secret. So when it comes to now let's talk about end of life care. When it comes to end of life care, it is very important to respect the dying, respect the decisions made by the patients because they are already in a lot of physical pain. And if we don't respect their decisions, we might even put the patients into mental stress, and this will become more difficult for us to help them. Coma, persisted vegetative state, and brain dead, all these terms, they are a sequelae, but they are not the same. Comatose patient can recover in several weeks, but a brain dead patient can never regain consciousness. So, as physicians, it is very important to make sure that patients' family understands these terminologies. So, family members may keep hopes for the patient to revive, but it is impossible for a brain dead to come to life again. As we can see in this figure, this is the activity of our brain. So in a normal person, there is activity. In a vegetative state, the activity has reduced. But in a brain dead person, there is no activity at all. So hence we say that it is impossible for a person to regain consciousness after brain death. The activity that you can see in this brain dead figure, it's only about the surrounding skin that is taking up energy, but none of the brain cells are taking energy. Statistics say most of patients die within 6 months of original brain damage. So recovery to a normal functioning life is almost nil. The person is already dead, as they cannot hear or feel anything, including pain. I don't think it is logical to keep maintaining a body who is already dead, which is already dead. Instead, we are even more letting the soul of the patient suffer by keeping them on life support. So, if we remove the life support, the soul can rest in peace and move ahead for another life journey. There is a mythology that I believe in. It says a soul is immortal. It just travels from one body to another, and yet when a person dies, we still remember his soul, that the person is forever alive in our memory. Euthanasia is a practice of ending life of a patient to limit the patient's suffering. I feel euthanasia is not correct because it is against the doctrine of non-maleficence. First, do no harm. So we can try reduce suffering of a patient, but we do not have the right to stop the patient's heart, or for that matter, we do not owe the patient. Dr. Jack Kevorkian, or Dr. Death, he quoted that dying is not a crime. He has assisted 130 patients to end their lives. Yes, I agree, dying is not a crime, but killing someone is a crime. And as I said earlier, we do not owe the patient. We have no right to end their lives, even for the fact of reducing their suffering. All in all, I believe medical practitioners are also human beings. They do not owe their patients. All we can do is help them reduce sufferings and not to kill them. Thank you.